Welcome back to the
BAMZOOKi World Championship.
Season 2 with me, Platypus, and Devil Panda 555.
Yes, it is I, and it is he, and we are here in the most exciting of stages, the bracket stage.
We've reached for knockouts.
The knockouts, the quarterfinals, and it is an exciting opportunity for these teams, some of which perhaps performed very well in the group stages to cement their dominance, and some of those which did not perform so well to perhaps have an underdog Cinderella run and take the crown when people least expect it.
8 teams left, so each got to win. We've got to win 3 times to take the overall crown, and I think we're going to start with Shoe is Cool versus Clifton Notties.
Let's dive in with the Clifton Notties, who are famously our international team
Yes.
from South Africa, who have reached the quarterfinal stage. There's a whole team behind them of organised minds up against Shoe is Cool, the #1 seed, arguably the toughest matchup in this tournament.
Yes. The first match is going to be Zook in a China shop.
Trail 3 up for the Clifton Notties for our South African team. Performed well in some previous events. Participated in stuff like Merry-Go Zook. I don't know if they've done Zook in a China shop specifically yet, have they? Or
I don't remember.
I cannot remember.
iCycle has done China shop.
iCycle.
They were very good.
And they were close to the BAMZOOKi world record, I believe. So, it's a tough call for Trail 3 over here. But 3 by name, hopefully 3 is more than the number of pins they're going to knock over.
Or maybe hopefully 3 is less than the number of pins they've knocked.
Sorry, 3 is less than the number of
They've
pins
already
they've knocked
knocked more
over.
than 3.
They've already knocked, and they're already doing better than their namesake. Namesake? Not that implies the person before. Anyway, but they're doing okay is the main point. Until disaster strikes halfway through their Zook in a China shop run. And here they are stranded on their back. Unfortunate, legs flailing in the air. They were doing alright, I'd say, Platypus, early on.
And doing a good job of like climbing over the knocked over pins, not getting stuck. It's a very nice score.
Yeah, good score. 69. Nice.
We already saw iCycle score more than that in a previous contest, so they're kind of like relying on iCycle kind of messing up here.
Yeah. Well, if iCycle, who's actually quite erratic, suddenly just runs off the table, and iCycle immediately plows through to the end, and I genuinely cannot believe it. That is like an outlandish thing to have happened. Firstly, that we mentioned it, I said that kind of in like jest of like this might happen. Yet somehow the #1 seeds, top performing Zook in Zook in a China shop, has just wandered off the edge of the course. But they've also quite a few pins. I actually don't know, it might be quite close. It's still enough to win. Oh, that's heartbreaking. What a roller coaster of emotions that must have been for the other team.
100. It's still like an okay score despite like falling off the edge. I think it's because they ran right through like the high density pins, and then we're just like, oh, that's enough. I don't need to do any more, and they just
There's a whole road that's fallen all the way back to the other end of the table as well. That's like got to be at least 20, 30 or something just there.
That's quite fortunate actually. That's quite fortunate.
That's lucky. That's a close call for Shoe is Cool.
But it means that it's a 1-0 lead for Shoe is Cool. And now we're going to do the next game, which is Zook Marbles.
Zook Marbles. Creepy Crawly up for the Clifton Notties. Creepy Crawly, it's been creeping and crawling all along. I like
small. Do you reckon it's large enough to push the balls out of the way?
Certainly creepy enough, but Snow Warning has been the powerhouse in this specific event so far. That snowplow front and those cool shades have powered it through to victory. But Creepy Crawly, yeah, you make a good point about will it be strong enough to actually push it through. Those flippers, I also worry if it gets in contact. I think we'll send Creepy Crawly flying maybe, but the contest is almost over before it even starts because Snow Warning has powered through. Creepy Crawly actually puts a valiant effort in, gets to the finish line, despite its like quite small stature, is able to push the balls out of the way. Except one might argue they were pushed out of the way by Snow Warning at the start. Anyway,
Shoe is Cool has got a 2-0 lead. But it doesn't mean that Shoe is Cool is definitely going to go through. We're going to play 3 rounds. But we're going to play this like the original BAMZOOKi show, where these games matter because they potentially give you a head start in the final relay. So Clifton Notties are still in it.
make all the difference.
And we're going to play Zook Tag now.
Zook Tag Silver is up. Silver was actually, it's been quite one of the strongest competitors from the Clifton Notties. Ice Shard has been decent. Not a standout, I'd say. Who knows what will happen in a game of Zook Tag. And Ice Shard immediately gets a start. But Silver, very fast, very quick, gets it second. Ice Shard gets 2 in a row. Oh! Through the legs! Nutmeg by another Zook! Who could have predicted it? Silver gets some more. But they both fly off the table! The table has been like something that people have not adjusted for in any of these rounds. And it's been a lot of teams' worst nightmare. In this round so far, we've seen 2 Zooks fly off the table from Shu. And yet still, it's still a 3-0 victory.
Yeah, 5-3 in Zook Tag. The rule on pinging is I would restart if I thought that the ping affected the result, but in this case I don't think it did. 5-3, quite a close fought run in the end for Ice Shard. But yeah, that's 3-0 to Shu is Cool, and a 3-point advantage means that Shu is Cool is going to take a 3-second head start into the final relay. And the winner of the relay will go through to the next round.
But that could be an absolute death sentence for the Clifton Notties, because remember, they did their round in perhaps 10, 11 seconds, something like that. They completed their relay. If Shu was anywhere close to that, 3 seconds is an astronomical lead.
Yes, but it's not insurmountable, but off they go.
And that 3 leads. Oh, and then we have, okay, so the Clan already 2 Zooks ahead, they have a 2 Zook lead head, and Dave manages to catch up. Creepy Crawly, tips on the dodgy Zook, doesn't matter anyway. Shu has powered through to the finish line. Before they even started with the other team, before Clifton Notties could even get a chance to go, they were already at Ice Cycle. Ice Shard had already started going into motion. There was that sliding door caused some trouble, and they had a slight chance to maybe get back into it. But and it's a BAMZOOKi World Championship record.
Yes, that was 8.06 seconds for Shu is Cool.
Well, this is
slightly faster than the Clifton Notties win earlier on.
Well, that's a powerful performance from Shu, who have not dropped a match, I believe.
Shu is looking like an absolute force to be reckoned with here, and yeah, so unfortunately Clifton Notties get knocked out, but they had a good run. They just came up against a very probably the toughest possible opponent.
They did. It was pretty rough, to be honest. We thank our international participants of the South African team. Up next, though, we have a title match for the title of us two.
To the title of Best Commentator.
Best Commentator. And we're not doing it based on commentating ability.
No, of course not. We both lose.
We both lose. We're doing it based on Zooks, which one of us should hopefully win.
So it's Mad Gills, which is my team.
The fish-based team, that only 2 of them actually fish.
Yep.
And they are up against the all-encompassing powerhouse that is Team Andrew Eats by Shawls.
Yeah.
Eats my shores, in fact, not by shores. That's an era of a bygone past.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling confident? Not confident?
I am feeling like, okay, here's my pitch. My guess is, I don't know if a vibe of knowing you, I think you've ran countless simulations against Team Andrew Eat My Shores, knowing full well, both that I did not change my team and that I would not change my team. I think you've been planning for months. You know my personality, no, I'm not going to change it. And you're like, okay, let me make the perfect Zooks to beat them in every single contest.
We'll find out.
Let's find out. It's actually incredibly exciting. The quarterfinals and Zook Hurdles is the first event. The best event for Strider Wave. Strider Wave is got those double legs. If it flips upside down, probably going to be fine, is my guess.
That's the plan.
That is the plan.
That's the theory. Who is Strider Wave's opponent? It's Tooth Decay.
Tooth Decay, not actually the fastest at hurdles, but consistent. It's not the strongest event for Tooth Decay, to be honest. As we go into Zook Hurdles, and Strider Wave powers. Oh! And it did go upside down, and the predictions came true, but it managed to work on its back. Tooth Decay managed to come in a second, close behind, with a lot of pride and power behind it, but this is, okay.
Look at that.
That was very fortunate. Well, not fortunate, it's structurally designed.
It was a little bit fortunate, but also it is meant to do that.
It is meant to do that. Well,
but it's not meant to do it that well.
It was actually, it was almost impeccable, its self-righting mechanism. It just happened naturally. Tooth Decay got a little caught. You actually did a little jump over the hurdles, which actually might have helped a little even. Zook Marbles is the next event though. And we have Ansharkist up against Merry Go Zook. How are you feeling on this matchup?
I thought Anarchist maybe could beat Merigo. I know that Merigo Zook's very good at this event.
Huge
But
claim.
I was
huge
feeling
claim.
quite confident in Anarchist. I believe in my boy.
I think Marigozook is gonna be a decimation, and Anarchist is gonna be. It's starting behind even. Like look at those legs in the back. Oh no, actually no, maybe not. Okay, Marigozook takes the win. Oh, that was. Okay, that was incredibly close.
You called it. You called it slightly early. I feel.
I did call it way
You're
too
feeling
early.
very confident. I know it's still like
I was feeling
halfway left
incredibly
to go.
confident, and it's gone. Okay, and I think it's a photo finish. But I think that's a win for Marigozook. I think it's a photo finish at the line. It's hard to tell because all the balls are in the way.
But it is a win for Marigozook though. It's close. It's
Okay.
a close thing, but it's 1-1.
1-1. Okay, this is incredibly tight. I've got this also. This is all for the relay as well, which I have not designed any. No Zook in my team is designed well for the relay. Weaker Zook is not a good contest for me because.
It's Dumpy Bob for Mad Gills.
For Mad Gills. Whereas Team Andrew Eats My Shores is Tuna Fish 2, which is not as strong as Marigozook at Weaker Zook. And also, I don't think it's as strong as Dumpy Bob, because Dumpy Bob broke the merry-go-rounds table.
I'm feeling quite confident here.
I'm feeling not confident at all. I was right. I'm glad, even though it was a terrifying loss, I proved my predictive powers, so I can
You did, yeah.
I'm good at evaluating situations. That's what I've proven. And the situation I evaluated was it was probably going to be a terrible loss.
It's the final relay, so
final
Mad
relay.
Gills has a 1 second head start
1
because
second
of the 1 point lead.
1 second head start.
How are you feeling?
I feel like, not confident, actually. I think both teams will overall do it in a matter of seconds. I don't think there will be any 5 minutes kerfuffles like we had previously. But I think that 1 second advantage might make a difference.
Alright, we ready to go?
Yes, okay, oh god, actually I'm clutching my ankles. And Dumpy Bob with an immediate start. Canisoda gets an attack on Marigozook, who actually, oh no, this has gone horribly wrong. Oh, they didn't even finish. Marigozook caught on a little smash, that play. I'm too sad to commentate. Harrowing as a thought.
Well, I'm too happy to commentate.
God damn it.
I'm very pleased that it went perfectly for me. Everything went to plan.
It did. In hindsight, the order was perhaps not the best for Team Andrew. Is that one record?
It was a new record. Slightly faster than Shu.
How many seconds?
It was 6.44 seconds. So yeah.
Today is a sorrowful day.
Very happy. I don't even care about the rest of the competition. I'm just very happy that I beat you.
Rude to be happy on this day. On this harrowing day. Oh, I don't even care about Team JB right now. I'm too upset.
Do you need a moment?
I'm fuming. I'm enraged. I'm retroactively thinking of like all the things I could have done and chose not to do.
Shall we move on to the next?
Yeah, Team
the next
JB, what are we
quarterfinal?
doing?
Here we go.
I'll
Team
get my revenge.
JB.
I'll get my revenge. Team JB, aside, revenge is in the head. Team JB, we have several interesting Zooks. We have Corrupted Zook. These are the 2 second place teams, I believe. One of them.
Team JB won Group B.
No, sorry, yes.
Corrupted Zooks was the runner-up in Group A,
Yes,
I think.
1 second place team and 1 first place team.
So, Zook Cubes is going to be the first match, and we've got Remus for Team JB. Looked
Yes.
very impressive in the group stages.
Did look very
Can
good.
they keep that going?
Remus has been very powerful for their team so far, as has Red Rocket, who's done a number of clutch tiebreaker wins. You've written here, Zook swapped sides to prevent crashes.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, Remus is meant to be the green Zook. Red Rocket's meant to be the red Zook. But for some reason, if you do it that way round, the simulator crashes every time. So I swapped them over. So here we go.
Here we have Red Rocket up against Remus. Remus clears the line with incredible speed. Red Rocket, not far behind, follows the path of Remus. But if you follow the path, you're never going to take the lead.
I think that's a wise slogan to live by.
It's not my personal motto. My personal motto is I will get my revenge on you, PLATePUSS, for your victory in a previous round. And Zook Hurdles is up next. Quote unquote enters the arena. Quote unquote has been weirdly not used that much. by their team, even though they are a very good Zook.
Yeah, maybe this is their time to shine though, against Squish It.
Squish It, the fastest Zook in the competition.
I love watching Squish It. It's so outrageously, so unnecessarily fast, to be honest. There's no need for it, but we love it anyway.
We do love it, and it's arguably going to be not that useful in a lot of events, but hopefully it'll be useful in Zook hurdles, where its straight line speed will mean it'll get an advantage over quote-unquote, who's also very fast and has better ground clearance. But Squish It, just gets beat at the final minute, almost caught up with quote-unquote at the very end when he both rammed into that little wavy cylinder path there.
I think what made the difference was the ground clearance. You can see here in the replay, quote-unquote, gets over the first hurdle just in front. And I think that was really the deciding factor in the end. So that's going to be 2-0 to Team JB.
The Zook tag is up next with Bandsaw entering for his team.
Team JB.
Team JB, yes, which I knew. Bandsaw and Silverfish enters for the other one.
For Corrupted Zooks.
For Corrupted Zooks. I've just learned these teams today. Silverfish is entering. I see Bandsaw potentially maintaining the title because I believe they had the record of 24.
Yes, yeah, but Silverfish is looking pretty good.
It was a pretty good band. I have never seen a Zook get as much as Bandsaw did in Zook Tag in all my years of Zooking. But Silverfish is really giving him a run for their money. Bandsaw is really knocking him out of the way. Silverfish gets another. Bandsaw, slightly slower than Silverfish actually, unexpectedly. Silverfish is actually getting quite a few. This might be a true upset. 5 in a row for Silverfish. Bandsaw gets another. Silverfish sneaks it. Bandsaw gets another. This is back and forth, but that lead of 5 in a row for Silverfish could be all that makes a difference. Silverfish is actually very nimble. We haven't given them enough credit, I feel, for their performances earlier on. I guess their performances earlier on weren't as strong as this. This is a powerful display. And at turning circles is incredibly good. Bandsaw has a good turning circle, but you look at that score of 16 Silverfish, Bandsaw 9. That is a dominant victory if I've ever seen one. And I have seen some before, so I know it is.
That was an incredibly. I think these are two of the strongest Zook taggers that we've seen so far. But that is so. Corrupted Zooks did earn a point back, which means that Team JB is going to take a 1 second head start into the final relay, which that might be enough to swing it, but it might not.
Well, this is interesting because I think actually all these Zooks are relatively well adapted to this event, and Remus gets himself goes around quote unquote hits, but this is the corrupted team, Corrupt FM. They're down. They didn't get past the first Zook. And
disaster.
There were mistakes.
Disaster for Corrupted Zooks. It's tragic.
There were mistakes by Team JB, but they did not matter in the end because the biggest mistake of all was there by
Nasha.
Nasha 3.
Fell over. I think maybe Remus slightly pushed Red Rocket out the way so that Nasha couldn't get there. If so, that is sneaky play from Remus. There,
yes.
Right, did you see it? Right there.
Oh, look at that flick there. Is that allowed? Is that allowed in the
I
rules?
think it's allowed. I think it's unseemly, it's unsightly, it's ungentlemanly.
Unbecoming.
But it's got Team JB through to the next round. Let's move on to the final quarter-final. It's between 3 gyms and a B, who's been very impressive so far in Group C.
Very impressive newcomer. In the newcomer side of the bracket. Could be one to potentially get the win off Shu if they get to the end, but a Fine Day is looking to upset those chances of them having a chance against Shu and hopefully get to the final themselves. I realise I'm saying Shu I'm just assuming they're going to beat you, to be honest. But
I did. I noticed.
Zook Sumo.
Brutal.
It's up. Zook Sumo goes as the first event, and Juggernaut Gym is perhaps one of the strongest Zook Sumo competitors in this tournament so far. Or the strongest competitor, perhaps, just physically. Rampage has been solid on some occasions, weak on others. Hopefully they can be solid as solid as a rock. And Juggernaut Gym pushes well, that's interesting because they both essentially left the ring at the same time. Rampage does a little swivel motion. There's a lot of technique that goes into this, using their own Zook's own momentums against them. If we use the replay,
Rampage, like, I think maybe Rampage knew that it couldn't win in a battle of sheer strength, and it did a little sidestep maneuver, a little matador play that we've seen before. And I think, if we look at the replay, I think Rampage just managed to have a foot on the table after Juggernaut Jim had gone off. Look, you can see it there.
Those feet clung on a lot more, and yes, you can. It's indisputable. Juggernaut Jim is at least halfway down before Rampage has like fully left the table. So I think that's a win for Rampage.
I think it's 1-0 for Rampage for the team. 1 point in the lead for a fine day. Could we see a big upset here?
The wildcard team as might take down one of potentially the strongest competitors in the tournament so far. And Zook Smash is the next event. We have Gym 2. This little turtle bug dude is up for the Jimbos and the Bees, that team.
Versus Croc for a fine day. One of 2 crocodile-themed Zooks in the competition.
Yeah, and the other one's been eliminated. So this is all that remains of the crocodilian race. And the countdown begins, and Gym 2 does a pretty clean performance, to be honest. I don't know much to say about that, apart from like Croc got caught early on the doors, too wide, too clunky. Gym 2, nimble, thin, smashes through, very strong, gets to the end.
Redemption for 3 Gyms and a B. They've managed to pull things back to 1-1. Just a bit disappointing for Croc, who's got a bit of a habit of getting stuck on things. Those long legs, big circular feet. Very clumsy Zook.
Very clumsy Zook.
Weakest Zook is the final game. We've got B2, who is maybe one of a surprising choice, but they already used Juggernaut Jim, so they have to sort of almost scrape the bottom of the barrel here.
I can see B2 being surprisingly strong, but the big one is definitely not surprisingly strong. They're very unsurprisingly big and won. So I see the big
and
the indeed. Let's see how this goes. Oh, the size comparison is actually very obvious and very apparent from the very start. The big one should be feeling confident, and it's not as clear-cut a victory as they might have thought, but it is a victory.
Yeah, I think the big one, it would have been amazing if B2 had somehow clutched that out. The big one has managed to earn a 2nd point for a fine day, which means that, against what I expected at least, a fine day has a 2-1 lead and will take a 1-second head start into the final relay.
Arguably, even more surprising than if B2 won is that a fine day has beat 3 Gyms and a B in these prelude rounds to the final relay.
Can they make it count though? They're going to have a 1-second head start. We saw them take quite a long time in this earlier on.
Croc's on a sliding door. Oh no, I'm waiting for that. I don't think it's going to go well. Croc! It's all on Croc! It's Croc again!
Stuck.
It's
Croc stuck again.
And is Croc going to finish the race? Come on, Croc. Do it for your team, man. Do it for your team. They're too big.
Does Croc want it enough?
I don't know, but Croc's getting caught a lot and... wow.
Off the edge.
I feel bad for the rest of the team here, because Croc... it's a BAMZOOKi world record now.
It's what's really... this is a stunning performance from 3 Gyms and a B. Despite the 1 second... having to wait on the start line for 1 whole second, they still set a new record with 6.08 seconds.
Is that 6.08 including the 1 seconds?
Including the 1 second delay at the start.
Well, that must be terrifying for future teams going up, they can finish the relay in 5 or so seconds potentially.
Yeah, if anyone's going to beat 3 Gyms and a B, they need to step their game up on the relay or do incredibly well in the
previous rounds.
Exactly.
Interesting here is I think all 3 Seed 1 teams have got through to the semi-finals.
All the group winners. Yeah, I think all the group winners got through, as well as me.
Yes.
Yay!
How do you feel?
I feel like maybe I'm the dark horse at this point.
You could be the dark horse.
Mad Girls is good at the final relay, which is really the most important thing.
If Mad Girls wins, it makes the loss of Team Andrew Eat My Shawls not seem as bad. in my
Yeah.
head. So
Yeah, so in a way, I want to go out in the next round to make you look as bad as possible.
well, let's not say that. Let's not. It's gonna be a weird next episode where I'm cheering your team on and you're hoping they lose.
In the next episode, we're going to start with the semi-finals.
Very exciting.
So join us for that.
The final episode of the BAMZOOKi World Championships.
See ya.
See ya.